Yeah. Well, I think
Maybe you're tired.
Let's bring on this horse. This is the low pressure. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's second. So probably not as long as.
Don't worry, think of it. Okay, the ultimate. I love it. It's nice, nice. It feels restorative.
See, was the instructor guy when you were out.
Be nice and short and sweet, y'all. You can have therapy. Or not, no, I understand.
I love an empty meeting, man, before. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice, anything good?
Yeah.
Nice real.
Good morning. Good crowd. So I will call to order the May 14, 2025 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Elections. ask our Director of Elections, Frank Dean, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Any opening comments? Any general public comments? Okay, great. All right, so we will move on to the business and we'll hear from Frank Dean on the appointment of our poll workers and tabulators.
Morning, Election Board. Today I have 3 requests for you. The first is for the appointment of temporary poll workers. The election code permits the election board to temporarily appoint qualified individuals to fill any vacancies that may occur on election day. There is a list attached to your agenda entitled poll worker appointments for the 2025 primary election. We are requesting that the board move to approve these individuals on this list to serve in the named election districts in the named positions for the 2025 primary election and for that election.
Any questions? Questions? Is there a motion that the people whose names are set forth on the attached document titled poll worker appointments for the 2025 primary election as non-elected poll workers are designated to serve as members of the various local boards of elections throughout Montgomery County for the date of the 2025 primary election only?
Second,
Uh,
did you ask?
is there, I
I'm
said, is there
sorry.
a motion? So moved.
Oh,
Moved by Commissioner DeBello, seconded by Commissioner Winder. Is there any board comment? All in favor? Aye. The poll workers are appointed.
Second is for the appointment of election tabulators. The election board is given authority to appoint qualified individuals to serve as election tabulators by the PA election code. There's a list attached to your agenda entitled election tabulator appointments for the 2025 primary election. We're requesting that the board move to approve the individuals on this list to serve as election tabulators, the 2025 primary election and for that election only.
Okay, any questions?
These are all county employees?
No, the tabulator lists are folks from outside of the county,
Oh, right.
usually poll workers.
Right, yep, sorry.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to appoint the name set forth on the attached document titled Election Tabulator Appointments for the 2025 primary election to work as members of the Election Tabulation Board to assist in the computation of the primary election held on May 20th, 2025?
So move.
Moved by Commissioner DeBello. There's a second, seconded by Commissioner Winder. Any board comments? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. The tabulators are appointed. Gotcha.
Okay,
I didn't hear you first.
okay.
Okay, next one.
The final request is for the authorization of the canvass and provisional boards. Section 3050 of the election code states that in the days following the election, the Board of Elections shall examine provisional ballot envelopes to determine if the individual voting the provisional ballot is entitled to have that ballot counted. Section 3146.8 of the election code states that the Board of Elections is to conduct the pre-canvass and canvass of votes cast via mail-in and absentee ballots. The code gives the board the authority to delegate their responsibilities to representatives authorized to act on the board's behalf. We've been provided a document titled Canvasser Appointments for the 2025 primary election. I am requesting that the board vote to approve the people named on that list to serve as the provisional canvass board and on the absentee mail-in canvass board for the 2025 primary election for the purpose of examining and making determination as to what provisional, absentee, and mail-in ballots may be counted.
Great. Any questions?
Now that's my question.
That is, that's a mix of county and non-county person.
So that's the difference between vendor and county then?
Yes.
Because I don't see a clear full representation for both parties in that canvassing.
We do our best to keep it bipartisan, but especially in primary, it's a little bit harder to get folks, especially from the county, because it's not a holiday. We're always open to having more folks help out.
But I asked you that last week or 2 weeks ago when I asked you, I said, how the people that worked at the general last year, did we contact them for working the primary? And you
We
said,
do,
well,
yes.
No, but you mentioned to me, you said those seats are gonna be filled by pretty much county employees.
It is primarily, we don't need as many people this election. We only have. Maybe we're probably gonna get about 50,000 ballots back. And we don't have to staff for the full 24-hour cycle.
Right.
So there's not as big a push to get more folks in because we need people working, especially throughout the night. That's primarily where we used a lot of our outside help in the prior election.
But I see a lot of vendor on here as well.
They could be, if they have a vendor number, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are non.
I'm just going down, you have, role, you have vendor or county, that's what I'm looking at on the spreadsheet that I have.
Apologize, I left my copy over on the table there.
So,
So the vendor number, is typically utilizing non-county folks. It could be that that person is a poll worker, that it's not being utilized in this election. If there were a desire to have a more bipartisan layout, I can certainly make that a goal moving forward.
I think it should be.
What are the statutory requirements?
As far as running the canvas, I'm not aware that there are any. We keep a partisan breakdown when we are reviewing write-in votes and tabulation and reconciliation. And that makeup mirrors the election difference of 2 Democrats, 1 Republican.
Any other questions? All right, is there a motion to appoint the name set forth on the attached document titled Canvasser Appointments for 2025 Primary Election to work as members of the mail-in and absentee ballot canvas board to assist in the computation of the primary election held on May 20th?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Winder. Is there a second? Second. I'll second the motion. Any board comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No,
Canvassers are appointed. So it's just harder to find Republicans in Monco. I don't know.
no, it's not. I asked the question. I
No,
would have
he
had
did.
people, so,
He didn't really put out much of a push
Right.
this time because the
Yeah.
demand is just not there. But I can certainly make it a priority moving forward that we have, sufficient representation from both parties.
well, obviously our conversation was misunderstood when we were talking,
Yes, I
so
apologize for that.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Since
no,
it's
I
primary, we'll talk again for the general.
Yes.
think whatever's the even way to recruit people is waiting. I mean, we send out a blast, right?
Yes.
It's not like
And
we
that's good.
intentionally, yeah, it's not like we intentionally picked these and ours.
No,
Like,
we,
it's whoever
it's the first come,
responded.
first serve. It's a sign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to give the impression that I didn't say
Yeah.
that. Right.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
I'm just for the
Yeah,
record.
that's fine.
clarifying.
Yeah, and do you have a ratio? Like, do you explain it, like what the current ratio is?
The current ratio of
Just in terms of
canvassers,
partisan makeup?
in the county itself or within the canvas?
Both.
The county, I think, is leaning 2-1 Democrat to Republican. The canvas itself, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
We just
No.
send out the email to usually county employees because they're the easiest to get a hold of and
Yeah.
manage and get authorization to work on election day.
The ratio is 3-2.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, it's not like 90-10 or something, right? But understood. No, it's important. I think, well, I'll just say in my closing comments, I've been doing a number of the poll worker trainings. Thank you for hosting those. We had 250 people on one of the Zooms, 290, I think, and both parties, people have been doing this for decades in many cases. I think I've met a few poll workers who've done this for 50 years, and then a number of people who are doing this for the first time, and they're all just stepping up to help their friends and neighbors vote, no matter who they're voting for. So it's always nice to see that. And it's complicated. Those trainings are 2 hours long, and there's a lot of things to go over, and a lot of problems that could happen, but I'm appreciative for everyone who does the work to know how to navigate all that. Your team is at the top of the list, so thank you.
Our pleasure.
Any comments?
Is that, we're closing?
Yes, we're closing.
Okay, I
comments.
didn't know where,
Yep.
yeah. No, I mean, it's, you know, it's primary, you know, it's unfortunately, it does seem to be a lot of voter interest in this primary so far, which is typical, especially after presidential year, so we'll get through next Tuesday, should be a good day. Weather should be nice.
Hoping, yes.
And hopefully we'll see a decent voter turnout.
We're anticipating around a 30% turnout.
Yeah.
That tracks with historically the
Right.
turnout in elections. But we're, you know, prepared for any outcome. And, yeah, moving forward, be happy to make sure that there's a greater representation of both parties.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the May 14th, 2025 meeting of the Montgomery County Election Board?
So move.
Moved by Commissioner DeVello. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Winder. Any board comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.